how did that happen, first of all, and what was that day like? What was that shoot like, interacting with someone like Jason Derulo, who is, in a sense, had like a second birth of his career through social media and TikTok? He was a superstar in the early mid 2000s when I was in high school. So back in 2007 to 2011, that era, Jason Derulo was all over. Then kind of dipped off and then blew up on TikTok. So I'm super interested to hear how that shoot came together and what it was like being on set with someone like that.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely was a crazy experience that we didn't expect was going to happen at all. So a little bit of backstory is that my roommate Will works with Westbrook a lot, which is Will Smith's production company. And they hire out creators to go work with a bunch of different celebrities and create content for them. And Will had a friend that he met through there who, like, sadly had a family emergency, and he was supposed to shoot with Jason Derulo that day. And so, Will, being the awesome badass he is the person they call up, and they're like, hey, like, we had to cancel last minute. Like, we need someone to be there to capture this special effects content, which is what Will specializes in. And we were literally both like laying in our beds, just like half asleep. And, the phone call, Will's on the phone. I don't hear what's happening. And then he hangs up and he's just like, holy shit. He's like, I have to be at Jason Derulo's place in like an hour. And I'm like, what? It's wild to hear. And so Will asked if I could come along and like help him film and also just, be a part of the experience since we worked together. And I was like, absolutely. And so literally throwing on clothes, grabbing our gear, we had to leave in like 10 minutes. And so on the way to Jason Derulo's house in the Uber, we're having to come up with, ideas kind of on the spot. And he wants stuff for his TikToks. Mm-hmm. So a lot of flashy special effects stuff. And so we're like, I think freaking out 20%, but we're like professionals 80% of the way there, And we show up and he's like has this new place that he's building, and it's a beautiful spot with a studio and whatnot, and literally just walk up and he's just chilling there on the porch. He's like, hey, what's up, guys? And honestly, it was super casual. I think we're at the point where Will has worked with a few different celebrities, and I've worked with CEOs or professional athletes. And so you don't necessarily get us starstruck because it is for work. This is a job for you and for them. So we were just showing up to do our jobs with the good, positive energy. But there was definitely moments, when no one was looking, when we would look at each other and be like, oh my God, this is crazy. Yeah. But we have to act all cool. But working with Jason was a fantastic experience. He was so kind and collaborative and very open to our ideas and working with them. He likes things done in a particular way, so we have to kind of collaborate on how certain things look. But for the most part, it was super awesome, and his team was so nice. There's a lot of people at his place, and literally everybody was so kind. And then he had a cute little dog, Ice, who got to hang out, which I loved.
Yeah, I think watching him is exciting because he's totally taken the lead on TikTok from the music artist perspective, where I remember when I got on TikTok, this is early 2020, so right around when the pandemic started, he was the first person that I saw that his songs were really blowing up and starting trends, and it seemed like he was so on top of it. He was putting videos out every day, a few times a day. He was nailing the special effects and the transition. He clearly was hiring great professionals like yourself and teams of people to work with him. And it seemed like he was one of the artists that realized early on, like, this could literally change my life and change my career. Like, I'm sure he had already made a good amount of money with his first kind of like first wind, I guess I call it, if that's the right wording. But like he had that early phase of Jason Derulo, and then it kind of faded off. And I'm sure he was kind of set up by that and could have rode off into the sunset. And then TikTok came along and he kind of got the second wind where he was exposed to an entire generation beneath him, 13 to 18, that range, where he was crushing the viral videos. And he was the first one too that I saw that was putting in cinematic effort. It was like him and Will Smith, who you mentioned, were like, they were treating TikTok almost like a movie. It was like this 15-second video, they were fitting in an entire story, adding the special effects, and then latching onto trends to push their music or film, whatever he was working on at the time. So I thought that was super cool to see him do that early on in TikTok. And now a lot of music artists that were hesitant to get on TikTok are now on TikTok. And I'm sure Jason Derulo, what has happened with his career has been a huge part of that, where absolutely people were putting in the back of their minds, oh, it's just TikTok, nothing's gonna come of this. He's gonna blow up on TikTok, and it's TikTok and music are separate, but you're seeing all these number one songs that are number one on the Spotify charts, global charts, and then they're also number one on TikTok. So there's this huge correlation. Like, if you want to go global on Spotify, it would really help your chances if you figured out TikTok and became good at TikTok.
Exactly. I mean, it's just, it's another marketing tool, and I think he definitely recognized that, as with everybody else who's really starting to jump on the bandwagon now. And I didn't even realize he was so big on TikTok. Like, to be honest, I'm not on TikTok that much, so I was super interested to look through all the stuff he did, and I was surprised that he was embracing it, because at least in my mind, I listened to Jason Derulo a lot when I was in high school. And I remember jamming out to him on the way in school and back and stuff. But I hadn't really heard of anything that he had done for quite a few years. And so, yeah, it was cool to see somebody who was just embracing it and having fun with it too. Like, he's some of these people you work with, they're just doing it to make a buck or whatever, but he's like having fun, and he wants to be a part of it, and he wants it to happen. And so it was cool just working with somebody as like a creator. So he was excited by the creative aspect of it. It wasn't just like, I'm gonna shoot this and to have something to post. It was like he was clearly excited by the creative process. Yeah, like, Will, it was working for an ad for a banking company called Dave, which the ad's already out. And, Will, with the video, was doing special effects where he was cloning Jason Derulo interacting with himself. But he would do things like slap things out of his hand or like interact with the scene around him. And so, it was cool where Will's explaining this to Jason, and he's like, wow, that's like so cool, or, oh, I love that. And, he's getting all jazzed up.
Yeah, so he was like a kid almost while you were filming. Like, he was like super excited by the things that you guys were contributing. Even though he's this huge superstar, he was still enamored by what you were bringing to the table. Yeah.
I would say maybe him being a kid is a little much, but definitely that sort of energy.
Like childlike, almost like fun energy. Like he's
cracking jokes, he's laughing, like we're all having like a really great time, and at the same time, we were there as professionals to do a job. And so it's really nice when you get to have that balance of like, we're here to do really good stuff, but let's also have fun at the same time. A lot of times you just get the we're only here to work sort of mentality.
Mm-hmm. Was there anything that surprised you about that day, or surprised you about working with Jason, looking back on it, you maybe weren't expecting?
I just I remember two things just come to mind. It may not be exactly answering the question, but I noticed that he had a lot of Capri Sun in his fridge. And I was like, I love that this guy's just drinking Capri Sun. You know, you think of like a multi-millionaire just like sipping on a Capri Sun. It's just kind of wild.
Yeah.
And also, I remember we asked if he had an extra tripod so we could set up this specific shot. And he gave us like this cheap $10 tripod that literally would like break if you touched it. And I was just like, how do you have this like this level of a tripod? You know, when you're doing these high-end productions, you have professional videographers. So I'm like, what is this, dude?
Yeah.
But it's nice that he can like laugh along about that. You know, he's like, yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, Capri Sun's got to hop on that Jason Derulo sponsorship. Do some nice videos with that for sure.
But yeah, honestly, I would just say the most surprising thing was just his overall demeanor. Because again, you never really know what type of personality you're really going to deal with, because somebody's persona on camera and on TikTok can be very, very different to who they are in person. And so it was nice that it was pretty much the same energy.